Welcome back to the channel, and let's reflect on the Pro Data semi-finals, which were live here on FR UK Rugby. And I was sat right here bringing you the commentary of it. Joe Worsley was at the Stade Amédée Domenech for Friday night's game, and fair play. And I know you'll appreciate the fact. And if you do appreciate the fact, hit subscribe, drop a little thumbs up on the video, leave your thought down below. Joe is here to, well, pick the bones out of, and I'm sure you've done that yourself over the last couple of days, Joe, but
yeah.
How are you doing?
There has been some bone picking, and I'm still gutted when I think about it. Frustrated. As a coaching staff, we've got to debrief it, go through it, hopefully learn the lessons and move on. But, geez, what a match to lose. It was. We just didn't look at the races initially. Pressure came on, and we went into our shells even more. And a few opportunities for them they took. They had great spirit. I heard after they beat Colomiers, they went out and had a few drinks and went wild, and then got together, trained all week, and then came up to us and did the same thing. So fair play to Montauban as well. They showed incredible spirit.
It's obviously still raw, and like you say, you haven't done the full dissection with your coaches, but can, to what extent you can say, well, can you put your finger on kind of what happened?
We've talked before about an indication of a game is entries. I think we had 13 or 14 entries or penalty shots, and they had 8 or 9. I think they scored in every single one, maybe even just 7. But they scored in every single one, and you saw how it felt, the bounce of the ball, missed time passes, stupid penalties, and boom. We weren't as efficient as normal in the 22. We were pretty poor handling an attack, and then... defensively, we didn't really have to do much. It was more around that pressure game was the key. And Montauban are very good in that pressure game. As you saw, they got an incredible kicker in Bosviel, and some of the kicks he made were incredible on the day. So I salute him, but we're disappointed, obviously, with how we acted around that pressure game.
Yeah, well, you've just used the word pressure, and I know you're talking about tactically there, but that like whatever level, certainly I can know you've played at the very top level, but I'm sure everyone watching can remember the level they played, and that feeling when it's not quite going your way, and I don't know, it does strange things to people in that pressure cooker, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I was really fortunate. We had an incredibly mentally strong group, number of leaders. The people that weren't leaders were very mentally strong, like Josh Lucy, Lawrence, Simon Shaw. These people, Phil Vickery, these people just didn't take a backward step. No matter what the situation, they'd carry on going. So player-wise, I rarely had that. Even in big finals, we played a lot. There was one at the start of the career which we lost, and we learned from that. And we went forward and took that experience on. So I'm hoping some of the players would have, after experiencing the pressure and how sometimes players might second guess what they're doing, started acting slowly as a result, they'll use that experience to improve on how they perform in the future. Because when you start ruminating, when you start thinking about what's happened, then you're already dead in the water. You got to stay in the zone, keep your mind clear, and just act on what you see in front of you. So as soon as the pressure comes on, people start to think about what's happening, then things get dicey.
Courtney Lawes completely emptied the tank out there. Didn't he just? I mean, just I don't know whether he spoke to the team or what he said, or what you and he said how he was after the game. Because obviously he was the highest of profile signings, and exactly 4 nights like that, and he certainly did what he could. But
yeah, I mean, he was exemplaire. He was just an example of everybody. Just working hard, smashing, picking up, just doing his job, no fail, getting everything right. He's experienced World Cup finals. He's experienced winning championships. So that's somebody who's had that experience before, and went out on the pitch and just played like he plays every week, which is an incredible level. So people, again, should look at him and learn. And hopefully the experience, like I mentioned before, you need to go through that sometimes to get it right. And some guys went through it in that semi.
Well, I'm curious what happens. Like a lad like Mathis Ferte, he's moving on. He'll be playing in the top 14 next year. But what happens? And you were a one-club man, Joe, so you've experienced this as a coach, but not as a player. What happens after a game like that when a player's just played his last game? Is that kind of au revoir?
They spend a few days after the end of the rugby season. You've been working your asses off together for 11 months, working hard, suffering together, going through emotions together. So at the end of the rugby season, it's always a key moment, whether you've had an unsuccessful or successful season. You need to just spend a bit of time enjoying each other's company. And that's what the players have been doing since. There will be a barbecue, and then we'll disperse tomorrow night. And people like Matisse, who's been here at this club as a kid, Carbonneau, been at this club as a kid. So for them, obviously, it's a more emotional moment. I think Matisse was in tears at the end because he was so disappointed. But I also not sure. Maybe it came across the desire to win from the crowd and the town in the stadium atmosphere. But as we were coming in, we had to stop the bus half a k further away because there were so many people, and then walking through a tight tunnel. The enthusiasm was incredible from the crowd. But again, that's something I don't think everybody in that team's experienced. It's another weight to carry for some people when they start thinking about things like that. I mean, you saw people in tears at the end in the crowd. So, yeah, I'm just gutted for the fans, gutted for the town, and for players like Matisse and Carbonneau who spent their lives at this club up to now. Then, yeah, it's a tough one to swallow.
Fair play, Joe, for being so open about it. It's obviously picking at the wound a little bit, but you've already touched on Jerome Bosviel, but we've got to talk about you've already used the word spirit. I can't think of a better word, actually. And they brought that with their fans. And, I mean, you just have to take your hats off.
Yeah, the fans are renowned as being vocal, and they were. They just smashed it throughout the game. Physically, I mean, in attack, we didn't get anywhere. Part of the reason for that was the physicality that their players brought to that match. So Ringier, the 7, had an incredible game. Fantastic player. He was a fantastic player. So there are a number of guys in their team that produce the goods. You know, Bosviel, when he gets his kick in right, he gets it right hand. That kick, the spiral bomb, is virtually impossible to catch. So it's nearly 5 seconds in the air, and it's spiraling. So it's coming towards you fast as a result of this. It's been 5 seconds in the air, and you saw it goes out of shot. And you see it come back into shot. It's like a intercontinental missile going up, and it's coming down fast. But the worst thing is, at the last minute, it starts to swing with the spin, so it's virtually impossible to catch. And these new balls, people have talked about, they don't like them, but Bosviel does. I think he's had practice and nailed it down because they go even further because they're a little bit lighter, that they swing even further. It's an incredibly difficult ball to catch, and you saw that happen a couple of times during the game, which in situations that did make a difference.
Well, Dan Bigger has never watched Bosviel play a full match before, and he was raving about the guy. I'd love to. You had the right guy in the room, didn't you, for a kick battle, a game that was won on quality kicking, which he did, drop kicks, dropouts, kicking spiral bombs, kicking long for touch. My God, some of the kicks he did 60, 70 meters. Epic. So yeah, we wondered whether their game away in Colomiers was going to be like their cup final, and you could have argued just getting into the playoffs on the last day was maybe their cup final. They just seem to be rolling on. Obviously they want to win every game they play. They're a competitive rugby team, but would Montauban actually really want to go up?
Yeah, the budget they got is I think 11 million euros. It's really low. I mean, there's 3 teams above them: ourselves, Provence, and Grenoble. Yeah. So those 3 teams, our budgets are significantly more than theirs. So if they do go up to the top 14, they get a massive chunk more of cash from TV money, but probably not enough. And they haven't recruited, judging they're going to go through. So if they do go up, it'll be a shock for them. Yeah, put it that way. They're probably not a club that's ready for that. Last year they were in a relegation battle up to the last game of the regular season, so they definitely weren't planning for this. But fair play. New coaching staff come in and turn the team around.
Well, Sebastian Tiersport, he's a guy that's got kind of a winning, tough, nuggety mentality. He played that way, and his team are resembling him in that sense. As for the matchup against Grenoble, we saw them looking very, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
We'll look more into it nearer the game, but
yeah,
That all-court team we talked about, that's what they showed in that game. They can kick, pressure game really well, they can defend well, and their attack at times is sublime. The try they scored start of the second half, which put the game to death, was beautiful. It was a beautiful try. Just defending really well, play quickly on the turnover, incredible kick, bam, done.
One thing that's noticeable as well. So we'll talk about it later in the week as the match gets closer, and it will be broadcast here on FR UK Rugby for free. So subscribe, hit that little notification on the live link that we've already created. 4:30 p.m. kickoff UK and Ireland time on Saturday, the 7th of June. So get stuck in there. But Van, and we'll turn our attention to the top 14 in another video, but Van look like they're heading back down. When
mathematically down. Mathematically it's possible, but they're down pretty much.
Yeah, they're down. So, well, I mean, it'll be amazing to have.
Yeah, that's one. I was thinking about that, Tim. I've been looking forward to going there. I wanted to do it like top 14 match, but it turns out it'll be Pro D2. We can't wait for that one, huh?
We totally can't wait for that.
Van Breve will be there with
Courtney against Mako, a couple of World Cup final.
It'll be amazing.
Teammates, it will be amazing for the league. Obviously not great for Van, but how tough a challenge is that? Because you quite often you rarely see teams just yo-yo straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. It's Pro D2. It's a really tough league to readjust to and get back out of. Yeah,
the budget Van have is not massive either, so it's not. I think they'll be third or fourth in the league, so it's not like when they were in Pro D2. Obviously, they jumped up to top 14 this year, and they're going to have a hangover from that in terms of a bit more money. So they're going to come down, but they're also going to have that experience of spending a year fighting to the death, to the bitter death, in the top 14. Considering their budget's way off everyone else's, it's incredible what they've done. The fact they fought for this long you got to salute the spirit of that Breton spirit they brought to the competition, but they're in all likelihood going to come down. It's whether they can hold on to that edge. They've been in an environment where they got to play to the top of their ability every week to have any chance of winning. They're going to come down to a level where the teams aren't quite as good. It's whether they can maintain that level they've been at, that's the difficult part. You lose a couple of players which are class. That happens when you get relegated, but it's also just maintaining when you play class teams week in, week out. You come down to the Pro D2, the teams are still good, but some of the lower teams aren't as good as the teams you would have played in the top 14. So it's about maintaining those standards, which is quite difficult at times.
Yeah, and on that, we had the access match for the National, the opportunity for them to take a scalp. Aurillac managed to survive that battle, and
it was quite an easy win in the end, wasn't it? So just to explain to everyone watching, so we talked about there's playoffs to get to the semis, final. Whoever loses the final has the playoff game against probably, Perpignan, Stade Francais, it will be, to go up into the top 14. Whoever wins that either stays in the top 14 or gets promoted. So the loser of the final plays in that game against the 13th team in top 14. You have the same thing with the league below. And Chambéry lost their game to Carcassonne, and they had the playoff game against Aurillac, and Aurillac dominated the game and stay in Pro D2 as a result.
So we've got some big old names in Pro D2 next season, where we will also be bringing you live rugby every single game week, every Thursday night through the game week season.
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great. And whilst I wish there was a Breve in the final to look forward to, purely selfishly, Joe, seeing Courtney Lawes every week is going to be a joy. But mate, I'm so grateful you have let us in on what it's been like there.
No, we'll have more time to do that next year. I mean,
for sure.
Hopefully we'll get it right that time.
Right. Well, we will have more build up to the Pro D2 final, Grenoble against Montauban, and that is on Saturday, 4:30 p.m. kickoff UK and Ireland time, live here on FR UK, and we'll have more build up to the final round of regular season games. The only domestic league that is still going in Europe is the top 14, and it's getting spicy, and we'll have more content coming on that. So hit subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.